This segment is brought to you by Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Bayou Time. And I know I'm a little late because I was under the weather when the funeral took place, but I would be remiss if I didn't say a few words about Miss Joan Thompson. And we'll now bring her picture up so everyone can share in these memories. Miss Joan Thompson was born on February 2nd, 1936 in Bath, Maine, and passed away peacefully surrounded by family in Houma, Louisiana on May 9th. She was preceded in death by her mother, Miss Betty, father John, beloved stepfather Dan, older sister Ann, and twin sister Jill, and brother Pete. Miss Joan is survived by her husband, Mr. Dale C. Thompson Sr. A lot of people, of course, know Mr. Dale. The children, a dynamic bunch, a lot of personality in this family. Dale Thompson Jr. and Annette, Margaret Lee and Mark, Liz Robards and Hank, Scott Thompson and Claude Thompson and Amy. Of course, I taught Claude, or Coach Claude, in the 8th grade. He was a fantastic athlete at Vanderbilt Catholic. She is also survived by 13 grandchildren, 10 great-grandchildren, and one younger brother, Dan Dudrow Jr. Mumsy, as she was affectionately called, was happiest when she was surrounded by her family. She always called her children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren her treasures. Her greatest joy was raising her 5 children while loving and supporting her husband Dale, who they called Pops. And of course, you know, she just was a wonderful lady, and she called it the most honorable and fulfilling thing that she ever did was taking care of her family. Miss Joan attended LSU and performed ballet there and was a member of the, I know I'm going to mess this up, Chi Omega sorority, or Chi Omega sorority. We'll get it right on one of them. Joan's interests included reading, making crafts, singing hymns, and being a wife, mother, and homemaker. She was a great gift giver and always made sure that all of her family received just the right presents. Miss Joan was a longtime active member of the First Presbyterian Church of Houma, where she sang in the choir and taught Sunday school. The Thompson family would like to thank, and we'll make sure we do, thank Dr. Dickie Haydell, Haydell Hospice, Patty Voss, Keith Weissite, who you see here on HTV quite a bit, Mimi Barker, and Kristen Wilkerson for their excellent care. The family would also like to extend their love and appreciation to Miss Joan's main caregiver, Becky Saucier. Another thank you to Miss Joan's nighttime nurse, Miss Ernestine Hamilton, and homestead caregivers, Shannon Dahl and Lisa Adams. Now, of course, they had a visitation in honor of Miss Joan on Thursday, May 15th at Chauvin Funeral Home in Magnolia Chapel. And, of course, that took place, and she was laid to rest in Magnolia Cemetery in Houma. And once again, just want to say a few words of just my perception, because like I said, I didn't know Miss Joan real well because in that family, they're so dynamic. You run into so many members of that family. But every time I saw them with Miss Joan, she was always so very cordial, but kind of quiet. Now, I don't know how she was inside the house with all the dynamics in that family. And of course, her husband, very outgoing, Mr. Dale Thompson. You see him quite a bit around the community. Margaret was my age, and Dale and that whole bunch. And yes, Dale, you still beat me in that wrestling championship at day camp years ago. So we were also connected with the family. And then, of course, when I was in college and they asked me to coach the 8th grade basketball at Vanderbilt, there was Claude. And Claude was just a heck of an athlete, and he had tremendous skills in a lot of different arenas. So, like I said, I mentioned the family and their names, and I think everybody who's watching this segment knows the dynamic of the family. So obviously, throughout all that, she taught and nurtured in her children how to be nice to people, how to get along with people, how to talk to people, because they were always so outgoing. Every time I ran into one or the other, they went out of their way to say hello, and they were all quite talkative, not shy. So I can imagine in the household, it was much of the same. So, and one of the reasons I wanted to do this is just to let some of the grandchildren and great-grandchildren know how special their mom was. Sometimes she's not always looking to be the front person, but behind the scenes, there's always that person that's making everything work just fine. And that's the sense I got, once I heard of her passing. Once again, I want to apologize for not making the services. I was under the weather, but I was there in spirit, and I wanted to make sure on HTV that we mentioned the passing of Miss Joan Thompson. She was a beloved member of our community. Our condolences go out to the entire Thompson family and friends, and may Miss Joan rest in peace. This segment was brought to you by Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs.